Hey YouTube, Salafis42, doing a response by request to Shazoolo. Shazoolo didn't make this request, but somebody requested that I respond to him, so I'm gonna. First things first, well, let's see what he has to say.
Hi everyone, in this video we are going to be looking at the religion of atheism and the faith of the atheist. Now at this point a lot of people are going to throw their arms up in the air and say, whoa, what are you talking about, bald guy? Atheists don't believe in any kind of faith at all. They don't have a religion. It's the absence of faith and religion. So bear with me a moment, so we'll just explore this, okay?
Okay, why do you guys even bother making this argument? I don't understand it whatsoever. See, what you want to do is you want to try and discredit evolution theory and Big Bang theory, abiogenesis, etc., etc., by claiming that it is some kind of religious motivation behind these theories. The problem is that there's so many of these scientists out here are of some kind of one religion or another. They're looking at the facts and making theories based off of the facts and seeing what does what. So these are all theories of how things work. Okay, none of these theories get harmed in any way, shape, or form by them being religiously motivated. The theory that is harmed by being religiously motivated is creation theory or intelligent design or whatever the new trendy thing is among Christianity nowadays. What you're really accomplishing, if anything at all, is that with making the argument that atheism is a religion, is if you manage to actually get atheism named into a religion or established as a religion, all you are going to accomplish is making it possible here in the United States for atheist groups to spring up and get tax exemption, which really doesn't benefit your cause at all. So really just stop making that argument, just because it is absolutely no benefit to you whatsoever.
One of the holy texts of atheism today is this book, The God Delusion, which I am halfway through at the moment, by good old Richard Dawkins, Professor Dawkins. Now, he's a very zealous man, he's a very clever man, a very witty man. And throughout this book though, I mean, he really does go gunning for Christianity. And, you know, I'm a Christian, and, you know, I do feel as though he uses a great dose of mockery, really, in it, which I feel is really unnecessary. But anyway, it seems like when he speaks, Richard Dawkins, it's like he has spoken ex cathedra, like a kind of pope of atheism. And anyone who questions him, it's like, how dare you question Professor Richard Dawkins? Who are you to question him? He is a very learned man, you are a lowly worm. He is a mighty man of intelligence and learning. You are just a lowly creationist, a lowly Christian. Who are you to speak against him? Who are you to blaspheme our great prophet? Now, I'm just having a bit of a joke with you guys, but this is the kind of mindset really that it can create in some people. It's like Richard Dawkins can't be questioned.
If anybody, anywhere, says anything to you about you can't question Dawkins because he's Dawkins, call them on their bullshit right off the get, because I really don't think any atheist should be making arguments from authority regarding a rational perspective on the universe. You know, now if you have something to say against Dawkins' arguments, first you're going to need evidence, and then you can make a contradictory argument, because really the only thing that you're going to have is some sort of tautological or ontological argument, which is going to be more in the realm of philosophy than science. Okay, I'm a Taoist. I'm sexed up atheism, and you know I would love to lace into Dawkins and turn that whole argument up on its head. The thing is that I can't, because I don't have evidence. I would love to turn it up on its head, not only just to justify my own belief, but also to, you know, get that big fat Nobel Peace Prize on my wall. but I can't with no evidence. So unless you have some evidence to back up anything that you're going to say, you can't argue with Dawkins. The approach that he takes is far too rational and far too easily follows the laws and rules of logic that we've had since before evolution even existed as a theory, before evolution even existed as an idea, when the common theme among scientists was Christianity as a religion. So, I mean, the classification that was used that actually started the whole idea of evolution was made by a Christian.
Of course, is good old Charles Darwin, The Origin of Species, the theory of evolution, and it is still a theory, guys. It's not a very old theory, you know, it hasn't been around for very long, and it does have flaws, it can be questioned. It's not watertight. You know, let's think about this, let's question these things in the same way that Dawkins feels that religion is fair game to question. Let's remember that evolution is fair game to question as well.
Yeah, speaking of evolution, you talk about it as just a theory. One of the things that you really ought to pay attention to is what a theory is in scientific terms. A theory is something that is widely regarded by the scientific community as the best answer so far. Okay? So, yeah, you are absolutely right. We should question it. We should poke and prod at it. Why? To find what is even better, or what is wrong with it, and what needs to be improved about it. But until you can actually disprove it as a whole, which nobody's done in 150 years, including creationists and intelligent designists, then whatever theory you have really doesn't hold a lick of water. I welcome you to go and poke and prod into evolution theory. Read a book, because honestly, I don't have the time in my day, and I sure as hell don't get paid to give a 40-year-old man a high school education.
It seems that the new atheists are very zealous as well, like religious believers. They are evangelistic in their efforts as well.
I don't know what you have going on, or whatever country you're from, somewhere on the British Isles, it sounds like from your accent. I could be totally wrong, so I apologize if I am. But here in the United States, we have a little bit of a problem. The problem we have in the United States is way too many of us believe your crazy bullshit. And way too many of us in this country try to change laws in a way that is completely fascist and completely against our Constitution, in the sense that they are completely grounded in religious thinking. Now, the reason we have so many zealot-like atheists is because we need to push back against that kind of mentality. I'm not even an atheist, and I'm pushing back against that kind of mentality because I don't want your crazy fascist rules based off of dogma that's 2,000 years old trying to tell me how to live.
And he believes that it's just like turning off a television set. Click. Game over, lights out. And that takes faith. It really, really does. Now, atheists will say, well, it takes faith to believe that you're going to go to heaven when you die. Fair enough, it does. I admit it. Will you guys admit that it takes faith to believe that there's nothing after death? What if there is? Now you'll say, oh, that's Pascal's wager.
Oh, Pascal's wager. That's right, Pascal's wager. How could I forget about Pascal's wager? You probably need to go check out the Woods of Jordan's channel a little bit and see all the stuff where he's talking about Reform Christianity and Calvinism and all that other fun stuff, because the reason I stopped being a Christian was because when I was trying to make sense of the Bible, the only thing that I found that actually wasn't a gigantic, massive self-contradiction was the Woods of Jordan's version of Christianity, which is Reform or Calvinism, which basically says that your God is completely sovereign, therefore you do not actually have free will. The reason that you believe in God is because He chose you, which means that everybody else burns in hell because they didn't get their little magic golden ticket. That is the only way that you can actually look at the Bible and it not be a gigantic, massive contradiction, and even then there's still plenty of it. So To use Pascal's wager in that sense doesn't work because the only way that the Bible as written can actually be completely accurate is if you use that theology. So, since you have no free will, you cannot actually try to bank on Pascal's wager. You are basically going to be chosen or not chosen if your version of the world is true. Now, the other issue is that even if I were managed to get tapped on the head when God's running around playing Duck Duck Goose and says, "Here you go, you get your magic golden ticket," I'd tell him to shove that ticket right up his holier-than-thou ass, because bottom line, to try and say that you are all good and all of this other nonsense that the Bible claims about God, you can't be this little boy having your club that says no girls allowed.